Hi there, welcome back to Roving Gardens. Now, it's been a while since we've done one of these videos. As you can imagine, between the months of May and June, it's peak grow. So we're really full on getting our gardens in their best possible condition. But now that we're at the end of that first initial surge of growth, we're in the end of June now, things are beginning to ease off so we can begin to really enjoy the garden as opposed to kind of chasing our own tails, cutting grass, trimming shrubs, all that kind of stuff, which takes up a lot of our time. We can start doing some more videos just to show you some of the things we do in kind of high summer, which is where we are now. One of those things that we do is pruning Wisteria. Now, we did a winter pruning video earlier on in the year, which showed you the more kind of structural pruning we do when the shrub hasn't got any leaves on it, just before that flowering in February. And this video is going to be showing you what we do in kind of late June. The principle is the same. Wisterias flower twice, so you'll get a really strong surge in kind of mid to late spring, and then you'll get a smaller burst of flowering in kind of September time. Now, the best way to encourage that is by pruning these kind of wispy bits of growth. Now, this is such an old established wisteria. This is actually the same one we pruned in the winter, so the growth actually doesn't look as drastic as it may do on a younger specimen, because this is such an old shrub. And it's fully sized and fully established. It only throws out kind of very small wispy bits, and I've actually started pruning this one already, so there's not as much I'd like to show you. But if you've got a younger wisteria, it will really look quite drastic. Tendrils flying everywhere, and particularly if you're growing it against a wall like this, against a house, when you've got a kind of tight corridor, which is what we've got here up to the entrance to the house, it can kind of grow out, look really scruffy, and just reduce kind of the visibility of the shrub, which is kind of what we want, because we want that flowering in autumn to really be visible, not hidden behind long ugly tendrils like this. Now, these tendrils are not completely useless. They will eventually bear flowering spurs, in the following spring. So the best way to maximize that is by pruning them back a little bit. As I said, the main priority is to reduce its kind of size to make it look more handsome, but also it is to maximize that flowering for September and in the following spring. So for tendrils like this that are growing out, the main premise is to cut it back to 3 or 4 buds away from the main wooden framework of the shrub. So if I follow this tendril back, it will go back into the shrub, and the principle is to cut that back to the framework of the wisteria. As I said, because this one's not actually as full of tendrils as some less mature wisterias would be, I can prune this back to probably 3 buds. So I'll follow these tendrils back, get a pair of secateurs. I'll probably do this one here, follow it in and snip it back, and then that has gone back into the shrub where the flowering will happen, and it will be closer to the shrub, and it will look like it hasn't been pruned. It won't look like unnatural, and that is the most important thing we're looking for. I've done a few tendrils here already, and you can see the leaves kind of hide where the cut is, and the flowers will emerge from that area, and it just keeps the shrub nice and compact against the wall, and nice and vigorous. And you shouldn't get too much regrowth now from now to the end of the year. The only regrowth you'll get is for the flowering buds in September. So if you've got a wisteria, now is a really good time to do some summer pruning, just to encourage that second bloom in September. So get your secateurs and crack on with pruning your wisterias.